Hello everyone, welcome back to Legends of the Seeker Weekly! Oh my lord, I can't believe I'm cutting it this close for a whole weekly deadline, but I got back orders to do, plus a lot of editing in the span of only 5 days, cause that's my work schedule now thanks to COVID-19. Thanks! Now I have a recording schedule! Anywho, today we are talking about the episode Revenant, as I'm trying to wrap up my bandana because I refused to bring my hat down here. So, Revenant to me was probably the most dark episode I could have watched, and I'm kind of glad that Laura wasn't here, because, oh my lord, I made so many fucking weird-ass jokes near the end, I was embarrassed to be in the same room as me. Basically, Revenant is the episode where they have the box of Orden that they're trying to hide, the plot device MacGuffin, whatever you want to classify it as, and they're trying to hide it in the tomb of one of the former Seekers who, legend has it, gave his life to save the country and free the world from catastrophe. Beautiful stuff, right? So, they go into the tomb, they find out that there are ghosts, and entrappings, and a lot of things gone wrong in this place, because they can't find the body of the Seeker. In the same actions as they're trying to purify the place by unsealing some souls that just happen to dwell in there, Richard gets possessed by the former Seeker of Legends that was supposedly trying to do this, and the third thing. And in the whole process of it, they discovered that, shock of all shocks, the previous Seeker of Legend with his confessor fell in love. I'm gonna wait till you guys are done with your whole dull surprise expression because, oh lord, even I saw this coming. In that whole entire regard, the only reason that the Seeker died was because the wizard was like, oh no! The Seeker's in love with the confessor! They must break up. But they didn't break up. They had sex in a field. But now I gotta make sure that they have to break up. But I will kill the confessor if I have to. Cause the Seeker needs to save the Midlands. I don't care if he gets it on with someone. He can do it when he's dead. I can only assure that the Midlands are safe, not his happiness. That's basically the whole entire thing about the wizard, where when the Seeker just snapped when his girlfriend died, he killed innocent people, and it was the wizard's fault because why can't we just have the Seeker and the confessor just have a connection together? It's beyond me, aside from the whole factor of when the confessor falls in love, her powers are over the hill, all the time enraged, and the Seeker shall be confessed, and he'll be a love slave, and won't be truly focused because he stuck it in a confessor, and that's truly, truly terrible. Why? Because she would probably still try to make sure he saved the Midlands by always making sure he defended the people, but then it'd still be evil because he had sex with a confessor, who would not use their powers for good because plot reasons. It's moments like this, I'm glad I'm a writer, because I would not make a moment like this, because then we have asinine plot threads like this. Granted, the show is great, but this thing still bothers me about how you couldn't just write around it. I'm just saying. So, to keep in touch to all that sort of stuff about Wizard fucked up, Seeker was out of his mind, and Confessor is dead, the dead confessor's boyfriend, the dead Seeker, possesses Richard and then uses a weird ceremony to bring back the dead confessor in Kaylin's body. They proceed to try to reconnect physically, if you know what I mean. And at the same time, Zedekiss is like, oh god, what the fuck did I miss? I got knocked over the head by my grandson, who doesn't know I'm his grandfather, and now I have no idea what's going on. Can someone fill me on the plot? And then the dead wizard tells him what's going on, even tries to say, you gotta kill somebody to save your Seeker. It's like, oh lordy. And then you gotta seal my Seeker. Oh lordy. Just because I got the hugest dick envy for everything. So you best stay 40 feet away as I slap you across with it if you don't get out of my way. That's basically what I felt when I heard the stupidity It's just like, dude, you made this problem worse by not thinking outside the box. It's so asinine and so dumb that I'm like, you could have found a better solution. Confessors don't have to use their confessed people for evil or for ill content. Kaelin knows how important the mission is to stop Darkenrahl, free the Midlands, and whatnot. She would have just used said powers on Richard if they were to have sex by now to do the better option. And at the time of their villain, that confessor would have probably done the same thing because she knows what's important about the world. Yes, the destiny of a Seeker is always clouded in mystery because you have no idea if they're going to live. But then that's what kind of robs it when you just make a narrative that says your destiny is just to end something, but not about your own life. Like what Richard points out at the beginning of this episode. And that's what makes the whole actions of the wizard more heinous than trying to say, the Seeker's the bad guy because he wants his girlfriend back. No, it's the wizard that's the true villain because he doesn't understand that nature doesn't have to go in a circulatory manner of just what you imagine the world can be. You taking happiness from these two star-crossed lovers made this entire plot thread a lot worse than what it needed to be. And in fact, Zed takes that whole notion about what the dead wizard was trying to say, tosses it out the fucking window, and then it's just like, reunite in the underworld, because I don't fucking care about y'all. You guys aren't my Seeker or Confessor. You're not my grandson and future granddaughter-in-law. I think that's how that works in my head, says Zed. And they reunite to go to the underworld. And at that same exact moment, Darkenrahl is sending up some magic in the sky to say he's on their ass. So Zed does some magic shit to make sure no one knows what the fuck's going on. Takes the box of Ordnance, goes a different way than Richard and Kaelin, and then it's just Richard and Kaelin, for now, just simply alone as Zed is just trying to hide the box in secrecy. And that's the episode of Revenant. Why am I just all of a sudden super active about this sort of shit? Because one, this is how I used to be when I make videos, guys. I like being energetic, I like being active. I like sometimes talking with my fucking hands and making sure I do the most craziest things for my whole motions, but only for like stuff I do unscripted. Like this, Nomadic Reviews, After Hours, and After Hours Reviews Retro. Where also, guys, I apologize for the video in advance tomorrow because, whoa boy, I was angry. But enough about that. That's a spoiler for a video tomorrow. So, Revenant, my own thoughts. Basically, it's like I'm saying, the plot of it is good in execution about trying to be a reunited possession story, where it does go into a lot of dark essences about it, where, yes, we finally get the moment of Richard and Kaelin making out, but you also gotta remember, these are two spirits possessing their bodies, making this very statutory. And that's very fucked up. Like, if it was an organic thing where they did it themselves, where they're just about to go to Bone City, that would be a whole nother thing. It would be more organic, it would be a lot more romantic and a little bit more investive for us, the fans that loved seeing Richard and Kaelin just get closer and closer together. Even though they are technically dating now, they haven't gone full-blown passionate, I want you in public sort of thing yet. In that regard, to just have it be these two spirits possessing them is very statutory and doesn't feel well earned for the people that ship this moment, and instead just makes it seem very twisted. At the same exact time, the way they're trying to set up the motion about saying the two spirits are the villains is kind of the weirdest misdirection, because the ultimate villain was the former wizard, who was only thinking of a straight-minded, just tunnel vision view about what he wanted as his Seeker and his Confessor. Not trying to find the flexibilities or changing of fates like Zed is with Richard and Kaelin, because he wants to see his grandson be happy and Kaelin be happy, but not at the cost of the mission. Trying to do that whole middle ground where you can find a way to be creative, be a little bit better about stuff, and the fact of the matter is that with Richard Cypher being who he is as a character, makes him a more compellingly complex Seeker. And Kaylin being the more stoic confessor that's very coveted about her feelings is a very nice niche thing to build up to why Zed knows that there can be flexibility, there can be a different middle ground, there can be better things about these two as a couple. But to set it all up to just be, we have to kill these spirits because they're the main bad guys, is the worst crime of all, because they weren't the villains. They're the victims. Nothing about this whole script kind of point out to me saying that the Dead Seeker and the Dead Confessor were the ones that were at fault. I blame the wizard because he didn't try to be a better wizard. He only thought about the mission and all of that. It's like watching people play Tales of Xillia and only try to fall in love with Mila for the first half, where she's only mission central and doesn't care about humans in the same regard as what you'd want. It's also like trying to look into... Let's say you're watching a Marvel movie and you only want Vision to be robotic and not care about humans. That's the basis about what this wizard is, where it's a one-note character that just wants the one note to be their defining trait, and damn to the world about flexibility or change, just stagnation. And that kind of irks me a little bit, because these characters could have done so much more to teach them a lot of better things. Taught Richard the stuff about how to do magic stuff, taught Kaylin some different confessor things that were lost in time and all that sort of stuff, and taught Zed some lost magics that even the Wizards of the First Order weren't really allowed to know from the underworld. It could have been built up so much better to even have a spy of Darkenral find the tomb and then make it seem like a rush to get out of there to then do the split, and would have been a lot more compelling, a lot more nice, a little bit more niche to the factor. But the whole entire circular motion as it is makes it seem disheartening, but also a lot more tragic than it needed to be. So am I saying this episode is bad? Not really. This is an interesting episode in general to do an analysis for and make jokes about. Trust me, I could make a lot more jokes. I'm just trying to be a little bit more tactful. But it just needed to be better. It just had to be better than what it was setting out to be. That's the only thing. So let's gear up for next week, where we're going to have an episode that's mostly focused on Kaylin and Richard trying to do something without Zed. I'm not going to say any more than that because I got to pre-record this. Anyway, so I'll see you guys next week for Seeker Weekly and all that other stuff. But if you guys want to see some more videos, just wait for Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, because I got you guys for videos then. I might do a stream Thursday, so yeah. I wonder if I got everything down.